And hello again there, YouTube, on Memorial Day 2020. I'm pulling this bar out of my storage unit, primarily due to the fact of never actually featured this bar or this type of light on my videos, but there's some history on this bar. And the interesting history about this bar is not only does it tie to when I used to be active, but it also ties to the history of September 11th, 2001. This bar was actually mounted, if I remember correctly, and I'll have somebody correct me because I know that a couple of people I used to run with do follow my videos. I believe it was an international pumper, but this bar was actually up, or this vehicle was actually at the time in Clifton, New Jersey. And when the things of September 11th went down, they called lots of vehicles, lots of different areas, all came in to assist. This bar was on one of those vehicles that did come in and did assist. The thing is that this bar actually means a little bit more to me, obviously, than just September 11th. This also belonged to a friend of mine that, unfortunately, about 5 years ago did pass on. And this was gifted to him as he was the primary operator of the vehicle when it was eventually transferred over to our department. And as you can see, I haven't really done much of anything to it. Mostly I'm leaving it in the original condition, flaws, defects, and all, mostly just for historical purposes. I mean, there's some stuff on the inside. You can see that whatever the substance is down here that's in there, that's inside the bar, not outside. But there are some cracks. This is cracked and sealed. That was actually there. That crack is probably more than 20 years old. There's another crack on the back that's also been sealed, and this is how the bar came off the vehicle. I mean, this is how it was operating. You can see there's another one right here. Now, I've thought about actually putting new domes on this, but I think that kind of defeats the purpose of any historical significance this bar actually has. There is some damage I'm seeing here now to the end cap right there that I may have to actually just re-silicone back into place. But for the most part, it's just an interesting bar. It's an Aerodynic. It's not my favorite series of Aerodynics, to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of the AD, ADL, independent rotator types, but if we get up close here and the sun doesn't kill me, I should be able to show you. It's probably easier in the clear. Model 25. Get real close in there. It says RQL-FAST, if you can see that. But for the most part, the reason why I'm bringing this bar out is because it's Memorial Day and it's been sitting for some time. Did give it a quick wipe down with some Windex, but I want to run it. It's kind of interesting. The RQL-FAST, the 2-center rotators here are fast. It's got the very interesting forward-facing V-mirror. As you can see, it's a stepped V-mirror. I always thought those were kind of interesting. And then your outer rotators are slow. It is the same thing on the passenger side. Forward-facing V-mirror. You have your fast rotator here in the center, and then the slow outer here. So at some point, again, I really should open this up and at least try to recover some of that. I'm not sure what that white substance is, but I should really try to open these up and take a good look at them. I'm just worried about damaging the domes even more. And again, I've thought about replacing these and putting new domes on it, but for the life of me, I'm kind of hesitant to do so because of the history that this bar actually has, and the fact that I can trace it back to being not necessarily a first responder on September 11th, but it was one of the ones that was down there. I know that for a fact. We acquired our vehicle, or we acquired the pumper actually from Clifton, New Jersey, I believe. I want to say Clifton. And it was acquired, I'm going to say, I don't know, that's a rough one. I'm going to say maybe mid-90s, 95, 96, 97 in that ballpark. And I'm trying to remember exactly. It went back and forth several times, and I know that the last time that we had it before we retired it from service would probably be about 2009, and that's from speaking to some other people that I used to run with. So this bar has probably been in a private collection, at least it was in my friend's collection, from about 2009, 2010 onward, as long as I got my dates right there. And this bar probably hasn't been powered up since he passed away about 5 years ago. So let's go ahead and fire this guy up, and you can kind of see what's going on. And just interesting bar with some history behind it. I'm gonna roll back. The sun's kind of nasty today. Your two fasts, and then there's your the interesting V mirrors. You get that nice flash pattern, and the much slower. Bear with me a moment. Much slower outer rotators, and I'll give this thing a walk. And like I said, I'm hoping I got my years right. I didn't really make any notes. This is just going off the top of my head. I'll get corrected though if I did something wrong here. Some people I talk to that know the history of this barn more than I do. But this was, again, using this as Memorial Day, primarily not only to remember my friend who passed on, but also the fact that this bar actually served on September 11th, which is quite interesting. It's kind of hard to find anything that's got some history like that. But I believe, if I remember correctly now, I think the truck this came off of is actually still in use. I think it's been sold, but I think it went west somewhere. I want to say maybe like Nevada, Arizona, or somewhere in that ballpark. But let me come out of the sun here a little bit. That's the back. And you can definitely see the slower versus the faster in the center. You're just not getting the mirror effect like the front does. And then I'll come back around to the front and just wrap it up. But for all those out there enjoying your Memorial Day holiday, I figured I'd put this out and just say, there it is. So there's a nice mirror effect. The sun is kind of brutal on me today, but there it is. But that's it in a nutshell, YouTube. Have a good holiday, and hope your weekend went well.